So long as man was considered to be just electrochemical matter, it has been assumed that ills of his body could be cured only by electrochemical matter. To think of such infection as leprosy being destroyed by the power of mind without the aid of matter was considered an insane ideal by the medical practitioner. Jesus healed the leper and others with virulent infections without the use of matter, and leprosy is the most hopelessly incurable of all diseases. Moreover, Jesus healed and even raised the dead timelessly without considering the time element needed by all matter in transforming other matter. Many instantaneous mind healings of the hopelessly incurable whom doctors had given up have been performed in recent years by truth healers who recognize man as mind, the source of matter, and therefore absolute master of matter. Such healings, and especially the raising of Lazarus, have been pronounced miraculous or above law. Many have explained them as examples of faith and belief, or as due to the divinity of the Son of God. No such conspicuous healings have been effected as those of the Nazarene, but many lesser ones have been effected in the last few years by illumined moderns who recognized the power of mind over matter, even to making blind eyes see and unhearing ears hear. What is the explanation of these seemingly supernatural healings? Are they miracles? Are they above law? Why have mind healers saved people from the knife whom great surgeons have condemned to certain death, if not immediately subjected to the knife? What is the great secret of power one manifests by making the deaf to hear, the blind to see, or the lame to take up his bed and walk, without the use of the knife or any other form of matter to transform matter? There is a scientific explanation of healing by the power of mind over matter, which demonstrates that such healings are not miracles, but are within nature's law, which cannot be transcended by either man or God. The fact that they were beyond man's comprehension did not prove that they were supernatural, for an airplane or radio would have been thought supernatural to dwellers in places far removed even one generation ago. The time has come when the scientific explanation of the power of mind to heal oneself or another must be given, for we are entering a new age of man's unfolding, which will be known as the age of cosmic man. Cosmic man is a transition from past ages of material sensing to the coming ages of cosmic knowing. Our thought wave universe. For a better understanding of the healing principle, consider the relationship of the seemingly two universes in which we seemingly have being: God's invisible universe of mind and man's visible electric universe of matter in motion. God's invisible universe of mind is the still light of all knowing. The God mind of light is all there is. It is the only reality. God alone exists. The visible universe of matter is created and controlled by God's thinking. The visible universe is therefore a thought wave universe. The matter of which it is composed is a formed record of God's thoughts. The visible universe is therefore a transient thought universe. All forms in it are merely the forms of thoughts. They have no reality, for they come and go in electric waves, as our thoughts come and go in endless sequences. The earth, the sun, and all the stars of heaven, which comprise God's body, are but electric waves of matter which appear, disappear, and reappear forever, for God's sequential thinking continues forever. Man's body is an extension of the earth. Like all things else, man's body is composed of electric waves of light, the same waves which motivate our radios or illumine our houses. Man's body is, therefore, but the form of a thought, a light wave form of a thought, which comes and goes and comes again and again, in cycles which we call birth, death, and rebirth. The transient, ever-changing thought of man is not the man. Neither are the moving light waves of the body the man. We can see the body of man, and we can see the forms of his thoughts, just as we can see the body of God and the forms of his thoughts. But we cannot see the thought, nor man, nor God. We can only know God and man and thought, for they are beyond the range of sensing. That brings us face to face with the outstanding fact of the division of the spiritual and physical universes in which our mind and our bodies dwell. These two seemingly separate universes are the visible universe of sensing, in which our bodies dwell, and the invisible universe of all-knowing light, which is the dwelling place of the one mind of God and man. Let us consider the inner relationship of the mind universe of knowing and the thought-formed universe of sensing for the purpose of seeking the cause of all our bodily ills, our sicknesses, diseases, failures, discouragements, and unhappiness, as well as our good health, sound bodies, successes, and the happiness which achievement and purposefulness brings to us. Still universe versus moving universe. Where is God in relation to man? Where is the cosmic light of all-knowing in relation to the thought wave universe of sensing? Where is the source and cause of all things in relation to the effect? The answer might be better comprehended if we think of the invisible universe of cosmic light as the still universe of power, and of the visible universe of the moving universe which manifests power. This is a universe of light at rest, from which light waves of motion spring to manifest the power which is within light at rest. Whenever stillness is, there God is, and God is everywhere. Whenever man desires to express power through motion, he must find a point of stillness where God is in order to express that power. Man cannot make the slightest movement without desiring to do so, then seeking God's stillness from which to begin to express it. His desire is the thought, and his action is the form of the thought. His very heart cannot beat without starting from a point of stillness and returning to that point where God awaits to give him power for his next heartbeat. Likewise, his very breath must begin at a resting point where God awaits to extend power, and his outward breath must again seek a resting point in God's still universe to be given power by God for the inward breath. This inescapable fact holds true in every little and big action of everyone's life. Consider such a simple thing as throwing a ball into the air. One's hand must seek a point of rest in the cosmic light from which to hurl the ball, and then both the ball and the hand must seek points of rest in the cosmic light universe of rest to acquire power to return through the universe of motion to again seek rest. Neither sun, planet, nor electron can move without a still center of gravity within itself upon which to rotate, nor can it revolve upon its orbit without a still point in space where God controls its every movement from without. That illustrates God's meaning when he said in the Divine Illiad message, "For behold, I am within all things centering them, and I am without all things controlling them." Creating with God. When one considers that every thought and action depends upon God, whether one knows it or not, think how much more powerful and potent one's every thought and action is when one works knowingly from moment to moment with God. The more one becomes illumined with the cosmic light of all-knowing, the more one can knowingly work with God, create with him, think with him, and talk with him. When one knows God's creative processes, how much more enduring one's own creations become, and how much more simple and powerfully one manifests God.